Yeah.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Cheers all my coffee drinkers out there.
Cheers on the coffee. Well, good morning, guys. I know everyone's hopping in the live trading room. For everyone on YouTube, thanks for tuning in, guys. Good morning. Let's get right at it with our pre-market analysis. So, cheers, Paula. Cereal? Oh yeah. I'm gonna get cereal, but like around 11 o'clock. You know, that's my cereal time. So, the first stock I want to bring up is Apple. So Apple is gapping up. Closed yesterday at 119.90. It's trading at 121.72, and it's just been flagging all day. At least in pre-market, right? It's gapping up because it got a price target upgrade. Analysts are coming out saying that it's time to buy. So UBS came out with a $142 price target. With that being said, I think the trade is going to be pretty simple in this one. If I see Apple start to break above 122, we can go long. 122 calls, maybe even 122 and a half. I don't know if they go in the halves. You can probably go 123 calls, and ride this one up. Apple on the daily really has gone nowhere for the past month. Wow, it really has done nothing for a whole month. Actually, let me see. March 1st? Yeah, March 1st technically opened up at like 124 or so. But anyways, you guys get the point. It's gone sideways, and maybe this price target upgrade will get a push, but I don't know if it's going to be a substantial catalyst for Apple to really rip to the upside. I just feel like Apple is in need of a catalyst for it to really break out. It's sitting, 3-4 points away from its 200-day moving average. So, and look, the 8 MA, the 13, and the 20 are all just converging on each other on the daily. So, it just goes to show that really Apple is just in this like weird funk right now. So, I wouldn't go really big on any trade with Apple. Just trade it light. If it breaks 122, you can go long. If it breaks below 121.50, go short. Put your stops at 122. If you go long, put your stops at 121.50. Point is, whichever side of the trade we take, we're only risking 50 cents on the trade. Okay, that's my idea for Apple. NEO has just been on a tear. Yesterday, Santi called a swing trade, made a swing trade alert on NEO, nailed it. In 24 hours, you would have made bank on NEO. So if anybody's still swinging NEO, if you're still holding on to it, it's up to you whether you want to take profit at this point. We've already surpassed Santi's second price target on NEO, so great call by Santi. Not only that, we day traded NEO as well yesterday. So NEO has just been overall very good to us, and today it's going to be great as well. It's already done a pretty big move in the past 2 days. So if you're trying to initiate a swing trade now, I would just be a little cautious. Don't go too big on the size because you've already missed, a pretty substantial move. But if NEO breaks out of like the pre-market high, like 38.90 range, let's go long. Put our stops at 38.90. Put our stops at 38.70. That's a 20-cent risk on the trade. Not bad at all. If we see NEO just straight up profit taking and just start selling off, I would want to see it break below like the 38.70 range, maybe going for a short. But then you'd have to put your stops at pre-market high, 38.90, right? So either way, whichever side of the trade you take, it's a 20-cent risk. So Apple is a 50-cent risk, NEO is a 20-cent risk, right? Today I'm going to also keep an eye on the pot stocks. Oh, there goes Apple triggering the short. So we're going to have to just kind of sit on our hands on Apple and wait for the setup. Tilray and the pot stocks in general, keep an eye on it because legislation is moving pretty quickly in the state of New York, and the pot stocks are gapping up. They could go on a run, Not too sure. But I think there's going to be some volatility definitely with the pot stocks today. So the way I see it, I'm going to keep it pretty simple. If I see Tilray just give out, and if it just breaks below like 22.70, it may just fade. But it's at pretty much its pre-market highs. So I would prefer to see a little pullback, bottoming tail bar, break the high, go long. Put your stops low a day, right? That's the preferred trade I would see on Tilray at the moment. You can take a look at ACB, Cron, and CGC. Take a look at the other pot stocks. They might have similar setups. I haven't even checked. I'm just looking at Tilray. But so that's what I'm seeing on Tilray here. Plug is on a rip. I could not see if there was any related news other than the fact that let me see here, that it's probably just beaten down. So this could be just a technical bounce. I'm looking at some news here. New York Governor Cuomo announces New York Power Authority's Economic Development Awards to support 2,300 jobs across New York State. Some incentives were approved for Plug Power mega site. So it looks like there's some good news going on here. Plug Power planning to build a hydrogen facility in Pennsylvania. So needless to say, Plug is just on a rip in pre-market, right? And I like it. It's going to create a lot of volatility. It's already at the pre-market high. Don't chase it. I would prefer maybe a sell-off, bottoming tail bar, continuation to the upside. If Plug just straight out just flops, I'm going to look at the 35.70 range for, if it fails that, for a potential short. There is a little bit of support between 35.50, 35.70. So that's kind of the range that I'm looking at. If it just fails that, then we can get some puts. But at the very moment, I wouldn't short it. I wouldn't long it. I'm going to just kind of sit on my hands and wait for a better setup on this one. Chewy. Chewy reported earnings. They did extremely well, gapping up like over 10% in pre-market. I like this pullback on Chewy. It was going on a little bit of a tear, and I was worried it wasn't going to give us an opportunity to trade it. What I do know about Chewy is that Chewy can move. I think Chewy's float is not as large as like some other mega cap stocks. So I know this stock can really move. So if I see Chewy starting to reclaim like the 92.50, 93 range, and we see the stock really prepping itself to break out, then I'm gonna go long. First target is pre-market high 94, and if I pull up a daily chart on Chewy, damn, I mean we've recovered a lot. I mean, if Chewy has more momentum in it, I don't know if it does. If it does, I would venture to say 95, 96, most 98. I mean, Jesus, if Chewy blow past 98, I mean, I'd be damn surprised. But I really don't see more than that. So Chewy has already done a lot of the work in pre-market. So if you're not already long Chewy, just I wouldn't rush into it. Wait for the setup. If we just start seeing Chewy like just give out, which I highly doubt will happen, but if it gives out, I would look to see how it reacts in the $90 range. You know, because Chewy is one of those stocks that could really, like I said, it could really move. It could sell off, but then a strong bottoming tail bar can come in, and you know, this will just rip. I've traded Chewy plenty of times, so I kind of know how it acts, and so that's why I'm just gonna be cautious with Chewy, because in my opinion, most of the work has been done already. But needless to say, it's on my A list. One other name, and then I'm going to pass it on to Taj. There were some small caps that I wanted to quickly just mention. So, RKDA is a small cap that I'm going to keep on my radar. I'm not going to go over it in technicals because I don't have enough time. I need to give time to Taj. So RKDA is a small cap I'm going to keep an eye on. TAOP is another small cap I'm gonna keep an eye on. DCTH is another small cap that just sold off. Look at the high, $26 and came down to $9. I don't know. That is some crazy action. So, needless to say, the volatility is there. And I want to keep an eye on this one because that kind of move like that, I mean, I think there could be some easy money to be made here. So, those are small caps that I have got my eye on. But with that, Taj, I'm going to pass it on to you, bro, because I want you to have your time to go over your stocks.
Well, I'll kick it off with TAOP. This was one that I was watching coming into the morning. It's an NFT name. So, as we know lately, NFT have been some of the hotter names in the market. So TAOP closed yesterday at $10, rallied all the way up to nearly $15 here on some very solid volume. We had some times that here hit 400,000 shares, but it's been hanging out anywhere between 100,000 to 200,000 shares per candlestick on the 5-minute chart. So really good volume coming into the pre-market session. It has pulled back quite a bit from that high, $14.85. It's pulled back to about $13, but we can get some consolidation here. It's bouncing, looks like it's trying to bounce right off the 20-period moving average. So what I'd like to see for TAOP is to see some consolidation of some sort, and then maybe look for an entry if it breaks out above 1330, 1340 range. But let's give this a few more minutes to form so we have a better gauge of exactly where we want to go. As of now, I would say if the market were to open right, how it is now, you'd have to wait for an entry probably around $14. But again, let's just wait to see how this forms coming into the open. Another name that I'll be watching, I know Alex mentioned Plug. I'm going to also watch FCEL. This is another name that had a pretty nice gap up. Closed yesterday around $13. It's trading right around $14. And it's flagging up here right at the pre-market highs. So if FCEL opens right around this price, we can look for a long here around $13.96, $14 range. Play it long. You can throw our stops if you want to give it some room at $13.70. If you want to keep it tight, you can keep it at $13.80. And if we're looking at the daily chart, $14.72 is going to be our next key area of resistance, and that's going to be the daily 20-period moving average. If we're looking back about 3 weeks ago, FCEL, that was the first time it tested the 20-period moving average as a resistance zone. It was rejected. So just keep that in mind as we go up here to trade. Potentially play this to the long side. Maybe you want to take your profits or take a good chunk off if it does hit that area around 1472. But nonetheless, that will be something I'll be watching. Another name that popped up on my radar just recently was CLF. It actually just had a volume spike just now. 87,000 shares just came in. There was some news that came out that they upgraded. They provided an updated financial guidance. So I'm assuming the financial guidance is really good, seeing that the stock gapped up above $1. And if I'm not mistaken, I know this is the yearly high. Let's see if this is the all-time high. Okay, so not quite the all-time high, but it is the one-year high on the stock here, going into 1877. So we're very close to it. If we could break out above that high, 1875, we can look for a long, throw our stops around 1830, and who knows where this could go. It has fairly decent volume each and every day, around 15 million shares plus. And I think today could be a really good day if this gap up is going to hold and we start trading into that high. So this is going to be a name that I'm going to watch closely coming into the open. Another name I'm going to mention, although I don't trade it, I know a lot of you like to trade it, is Tesla. So what I really like about Tesla is we're actually gapping right near the 20-period moving average. You're getting a nice bull flag formation coming here to right at the open. Closed yesterday at 635.60. We gapped up about a little more than 10 points, and you're getting a nice flag formation here, nice bull flag formation. So what I would like to see from Tesla is it to break out above 649. You You throw your stops around 646, so you're looking at about a 3-point risk. But Tesla can break out of that. I think it has room to run. You can at least test that 20-period moving average on the daily around 650, 160. And if it breaks out above that, I mean, Tesla has room to run. You're going to see this thing hit 660 probably from this standpoint. So this is going to be a very important day for Tesla to see if it can break out of not only the 20-period moving average on the daily, but also the 8-period moving average. So those are going to serve as some really solid resistance zones. But again, if it can break out of that, then Tesla is going to have some nice room to run. And then obviously, just going to keep an eye on the overall market. We are gapping up, looking at the Qs right now. We are gapping up about 2 points. Closed yesterday at 314.30, gapping up to about 316. So keep that in mind, right? As of late, when the market's been gapping up or gapping down, it has been a little choppy out of the gates. So just keep that in mind when you're going in with some of these plays. But if you do want to take an entry on the Qs, you want to play it to the upside, you can look for an entry for a long around 316.40. Throw your stops around 316. However, if it starts to break down below 315.60, you can definitely look for a short. Throw your stops again right at 316. But like I said, I would highly recommend to just be a little patient, just like we did yesterday. You know, wait 5, 10, maybe even 15 minutes to really look to get into a position. A lot of us did that yesterday, and it worked out really well for a lot of us. We didn't get caught up in the chop. So with that being said, as far as the market as well, keep an eye on the SPYs. The SPYs are at an important zone as well. It's trading right on top of the 20-period moving average and the 8-period moving average on the daily. And it's doing the same thing. It's flagging up here at pre-market highs. So if we start to see the SPYs break out above 395.30, you see them possibly go on a run, start to test that 396, 397 range. And we can throw our stops here around 395. So very small risk. You're only looking at about a 30-cent risk if this does break out. So this could be a potential play to make if the market is strong out of the gates. So with that being said, for me, I'm definitely going to be keeping a close eye on TAOP out of the gates. Apple is going to be a big one for me as well. And then the plug and FCEL along with CLF and NEO. Those are going to be pretty much my big names coming out of the gates.
Yeah, that sounds good, man. I think today may be a little bit better than yesterday from like an opportunity perspective. So I'm pretty excited. Take a look at this one that just came up on my radar. NCTY. I posted it on the chat. They just did an offering. It was at $41 and just came straight down to 30.
Oh my goodness! Did you short it?
No, I wish. Oh my god, I'd be done for the day. I wish.
Wow.
Yeah, this thing just tanked. So yeah, the offering price I'm seeing here seems the offering price of $33.20. And then has a term of 3 years and are accessible by the holder at $36. So between 33 and 36. So pretty interesting. Just watch this one because there's a lot of volatility with it. And NEO is already breaking out a pre-market high. So gotta wait for that one. Well, with that being said, for everyone on YouTube, thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you all later.